Okay, so we've got this question here which says it's 2x minus 8x squared plus 10. And it's a completing the square question. Um, Whenever you try and complete the square, you're always wanting it in this golden format up in this top right, where you're basically wanting x squared plus bx. So the coefficient of x squared, I would typically say always make sure that it's going to be a positive and the coefficient is 1. So therefore, with this question here, what we're needing to do is if we look at the coefficient of the x squared here, I basically need to take a factor of that out. So I'm going to take a factor of -8 out, which therefore will leave me with that positive x squared. Now, I'm going to take that factor of -8 out of everything apart from this integer over here, whatever the sort of the c is. So if we remember going back to GCSE, that quadratics are in the format of ax squared plus bx plus c, well, linking it to our completing the square, we don't really care about the c for now. Well, we do care about it, but we don't need to do anything with it when trying to complete the square. So I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to take a factor of that -8 out of everything which I've shaded in yellow. So if I was to take a factor of, basically I'm going to divide this 2 by -8. That will get me negative 2 over 8x, close bracket, plus 10. Now, I'm just going to rewrite it, and I'm going to simplify that fraction to get me a quarter x. Now, whenever you complete the square, what you need to do is, and I'm going to remember to keep that -8 out there, is I need to divide this this fraction by 2. So I'm going to say, I'm going to copy down that x there. I'm going to divide that fraction by 2, so I'm going to get 1 over 8, close the bracket, square it, and then what I need to do is I need to square this 8 and subtract it on the outside, so that's going to be minus 1 over 64. Close the bracket, and I keep that plus 10. That plus 10 stays there. Now I just need to sort this all out. So because I've got that factor of -8 out, I need to times it by everything which is in that big bracket there. So it's going to be -8 times by this bracket here first. So the way we can write that is just x minus 1 over 8 all squared. That pretty much stays the same. Now we need to times the -8 by the -1 over 64. So if I was going to multiply that, I would be left with positive 1/8, because -8 times -1 over 64, we should know that the negatives will sort of cancel each other out. But -8 can be written as -8 over 1 times -1 over 64. So if I was to cross cancel, I know that I've got a factor of 8 here, so that will turn into 1. 64 divided by 8 gets me 8. Therefore, that would leave me with -1 over 1, i.e. -1, times by -1 over 8, which is just going to leave me with positive an 8. I still need to bring that 10 down, and generally we try and sort this bit out here. So again, I'm going to say, well, I need 1/8 plus 10, and I'm going to convert that 10 into an improper fraction, a top-heavy fraction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, well, it's going to be 1 over 8 plus, now I really want to try and have the denominators the same, because that's how I can add my fractions. So I could say it's going to be 80 over 8. It's going to be 80 over 8, like that. You add the numerators together, so it leaves me with 81 over 8, and then that's going to be my final answer. So it's going to be 81 over 8 minus what I still have left over, which is that -8, open bracket, x minus 1 over 8, all squared. So it'll look like that.